Jaselyn Horne was 26 years old and had lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, her entire life. She was known in her community as a pretty and vibrant young woman, full of energy and life. Jaselyn had a strong personality that made her stand out, and she was loved by her friends, family, and coworkers alike. People admired her not just for her looks, but also for her determination and resilience. Jaselyn worked the night shift at a local fast food restaurant called Cookout Hamburgers. This schedule allowed her to manage her responsibilities as a single mother effectively. By working nights, she could leave her son at home and pay her cousin to come over and babysit while she was at work. This arrangement gave her peace of mind, knowing her son was safe and cared for. Jaselyn typically finished her shift at 7 in the morning and rarely took days off. She was dedicated to her job and often worked weekends, which helped her earn overtime pay. Her commitment to her work was evident, as she strived to be an excellent provider for her son. Jaselyn was well liked among her colleagues. She got along with everyone and often went out of her way to help others, including giving rides home to coworkers who needed them. Her kindness and willingness to lend a hand made her a beloved figure in the workplace. In addition to her job at Cookout, Jaselyn had a passion for hairstyling. She did hair on the side and was particularly skilled at braids and locks. This creative outlet not only allowed her to express herself, but also contributed to her income. With two sources of income, Jaselyn felt financially comfortable, which enabled her to provide a stable home for her son. For about 5 months, everything seemed to be going well for Jaselyn. She was balancing her work and personal life, and she enjoyed the time spent with her son during her off hours. However, everything changed early one Sunday morning when a series of events unfolded that would ultimately cost Jaselyn her life. On that fateful morning, Jaselyn was working her usual overnight shift and was responsible for closing the store. The closing process at a fast food establishment is often hectic. There is a long list of cleaning duties that must be completed, and these tasks are usually divided among the employees to ensure efficiency. But on this particular night, tensions were running high between Jaselyn and a coworker named Malik Crosby. Malik was 20 years old and had been employed at Cookout for some time. He was known for being responsible and reliable, often arriving early for his shifts. His laid-back demeanor earned him the respect and friendship of many of his coworkers. However, despite his generally easygoing nature, he had been involved in a conflict with Jaselyn. It's unclear what triggered their disagreement, but it had escalated over the past few days. As the night wore on, the situation between Jaselyn and Malik deteriorated. Just before 5 in the morning, when it was time to clean, the two found themselves clashing over their responsibilities. The argument escalated quickly, with both parties becoming increasingly agitated. After several hours of bickering, it all came to a head. In a heated exchange, Malik crossed a line by using a derogatory term directed at Jaselyn. The word hung in the air, a stark reminder of the tension that had been building. In response, Jaselyn acted in a moment of impulsive anger, striking Malik in the face with a skillet. The act was a reaction to feeling cornered and disrespected. Malik stumbled backward, momentarily stunned. However, in an alarming turn of events, he suddenly pulled out a weapon and shot Jaselyn 5 times, right in front of their coworkers. The gunfire echoed through the restaurant, creating chaos as everyone scrambled for safety. Employees and customers alike were thrown into panic. A call to 911 was made from a bathroom where 3 people, including the manager, had hidden from Malik. They were terrified, unsure of what would happen next. After the attack, Malik fled the scene, and by the time Charlotte police arrived, he was nowhere to be found. Fortunately, he was arrested later that same day. The gravity of the situation weighed heavily on everyone involved. Malik was charged with and pled guilty to first-degree murder. However, during the court proceedings, Jaselyn's family expressed their forgiveness for him, a profound statement reflecting their grief and desire for healing. Before this tragic incident, Malek had never encountered any issues with the law. He was not known to be a violent person. He had simply found himself in an incredibly bad situation and lost his temper. The consequences of that fateful morning were devastating. Jaselyn was taken away from her son, leaving him to grow up without his mother. Her absence created a void that would be felt deeply by those who loved her, especially her young son, who would need support as he navigated life without her. Violence had ruined many lives that morning, as it always does. The events could have been avoided had Jaselyn and Malek been separated or managed to stop arguing on their own. An argument devoid of restraint always ends badly. This incident serves as a poignant reminder of the impact of violence and the importance of conflict resolution. In the end, Malek was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 7 years in prison.